Not a problem. Okay, I believe that y'all can hear me now. Okay, what's up? I'm Helix, as aforementioned. I use they, them pronouns. This is Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania. I'm playing this on the PC, and this game was released last year, only a few months ago, actually. The original soundtrack did win, so I went in the options. You probably saw it. I switched over to the original soundtrack, and I will be playing SMB1 Marathon, and we're going to do this in Ranking Challenge, because it's the fastest way to do it. You see, SMB1 Casual, Normal, Expert, Master here. These are all sort of different difficulties for Challenge Mode, and Marathon is all 4 of those in a row. So that's what this is.
Go.
And I think everything else I can explain while we are playing. Real quick, if the host has anything to say, because once I get started, I'm going to be talking a lot. So if you have any announcements, real quick. No. Okay, I'm going to get into it in that case. So as soon as I press A here, we will get started. On go, 3, 2, 1, go. I have the credits, or the credit screen, the control screen. It doesn't really matter though, because this is timed with in-game time, thankfully. It's like the first ever Monkey Ball. That might be a lie. I didn't play a whole lot of the newer Monkey Balls, but it's one of the first ones to actually have an in-game timer. It's awesome. So there's a lot to explain real quick. I'm about to take a different colored goal here. This is a green goal, and it will warp me past some stages. As you can see, I'm skipping now from stage 2 to 5. Yeah, red and green goals skip stages. That's the gist of it. This is a bonus stage. We don't have to play them. We just want to exit as quickly as possible. So, regardless of what happens there, you collect all the bananas, or if you fall out, you are progressed to the next level. Oh, that was so close. This is the first hard trick in the run here. The setup already looks way better. Yeah, beautiful. I fixed that. It's so well second try. Alright. So, another thing that I've actually already done in this run, if you hold the manual camera directly down, because you can control the camera in this game, which is kind of wild. But if you hold it directly down, it will lock the camera in place, meaning it won't rotate when you make turns. And I use that pretty often in SMB1. I use it a little bit less on the SMB2 levels, but for some levels in SMB1 it is extremely helpful. Not as much here in Beginner, but Beginner is really short as well. Normally, at the end of Beginner there are 3 extra levels. In Marathon, you're only going to see 2, and that's because some of the extra levels are repeats. SMB1 Marathon only shows each level once. There are also some bonus stages that repeat, and we're only going to get to see those once as well. Some of them we're not going to get to see at all, because warp goals skip stages. That's fine. Skipping stages is pretty fast. I am, in fact, playing as Tails the Fox. Sonic and Tails are both in this game, along with a whole bunch of other guest characters, including even some classic Sega consoles, which is pretty cool. If you saw my GDQ run, you saw me play as a Dreamcast. But Tails is my favorite character in this game. So I decided I wanted to play as Tails. We can have a soundtrack bid war. We are now moving into SMB1 Normal, formerly known as Advanced. I think I said Beginner earlier to refer to like the first difficulty of SMB1 Challenge Mode, when technically in this game it's Casual. They renamed some of them, is what I'm trying to get at here. So if you ever hear me say Beginner, I'm referring to Casual, and if I say Advanced, I'm referring to Normal. At least Expert and Master are the same, so there shouldn't be any confusion with those. Really sick strat here coming up on Repulse, so we can use sort of the ridge at the end of this platform. Launch us over to the goal like that. Very simple, very flashy.
Ready?
Now our bridge, I'm gonna hold the camera down again to lock it in place. And then you can get this done in one cycle. Normally, this is where we would see a bonus stage if I were just playing SMB1 normal, but because this is Marathon, it's not going to show up. We're going to go right to break, and there's another warp goal here. So this is where warp goals start to get a little bit absurd. Both in how many stages they skip, and in difficulty. This next warp goal coming up on choice is probably the hardest in the entire run. You can see it all the way on the right here. I need to line it up. We're going to use a texture setup here to line this up. A little farther right. There we go. This should be good. Oh, almost. So close. We need to balance on that rail all the way to the goal. You don't have to do this. You can take the green goal and you will end up playing 2 extra stages. They're not super long, so it's not a ton of time loss, but since I can do this, I might as well show it off, right? There we go. Second try, not bad at all. I wish that, in my opinion, that should be a red goal, because red goals in general skip even more levels. But it is what it is. That was a really good stoppers there. Those are JAMA bars that move with the tilt of the stage. That's the only time you're going to see them, for some reason. But it makes that level pretty awkward to play. But luckily, that speedrun strat. Pretty hard strat to learn, but once you get the hang of it, it looks super cool. We're now moving on to exam B. No, we're not. We're playing conveyors first. Then we're playing exam B. Exam B is notable because there's a lot of level. The level is constructed in such a way to where we don't have to play a whole lot of it.
Ready? Go!
Get over to this platform, go up here, round, and we can just drop into the goal from here. We're coming up now to Chaser, which has the warp goal that skips, I believe, the most stages in the entire game. It will skip a whopping 6, and I'm going to be doing a pretty difficult strat here. Turn around and hopefully land right in the goal. That was actually pretty close.
Fall out. Ready?
Not good. Oh. Hey, we're fine. Okay. Sure. Backup strat then. I am gonna wait for it to come around the turn. I don't want to try to hit it as it's on the turn, because I will definitely miss. Alright, so an interesting red goal finish there.
Ready?
And now we're on to one of the easiest warp goals in the entire game. We can clip off this little hole in the middle there and go right to the green goal. It's actually way easier than going to the blue goal. Really funny how that works out. Now we're on Spiky. I'm going to go for some cycle skips here. One. Oop, that one was bad. I was too close to the spike, so I didn't have a whole lot of room to move. Ah, that time, I was just a little bit off on the timing. There it is. That's the fastest thing you can do, RTA. The IL strat is a bit more wild, which reminds me, there is a booming IL scene for this game, IL meaning individual level, where people try to get the fastest times they can on every single level in the game. Actually help run the sheet that tracks the IL world record times. And we do track jumps as well. You can unlock jumps in this game. Here is one of the worst levels to speedrun in this entire game because it is just horribly inconsistent. This is the best setup we have, and first try. Nice. Go as far back on the platform as I can, be very careful. My visual cue for that is when Hale's toes essentially reach the edge of the platform. You can hold up, and first try puzzle was huge. Another fun skip there on Banana Plate, which used to be AV logo, but as Amusement Vision is really no longer a thing, they had to change that stage a little bit. Because, if you didn't know, all these stages are from SMB1, the original Super Monkey Ball. Hence the name SMB1 Marathon. And that wraps up the normal portion. We are now into Expert, which is going to have probably the hardest portion of the entire run. Coming up really soon here, actually. Another warp goal on Branch, and this is going to be our last warp goal for a little bit. It almost feels like when they were designing the levels for SMB1, designing the courses, I guess, they forgot about warp goals for a little while, because there's one at the beginning of Expert, and then you don't have any more until the end of Expert. And I don't know, I find that really funny. So here is one of the longest stages in the run. Not the longest, but it's up there. Which will be followed by Exam C. And if you played Monkey Ball 1 as a kid, you probably know Exam C very well. You've probably spent many hours trying to beat that level. Thankfully, they nerfed it in this game. It's not quite as bad. It's still hard, but it's not as bad. Oh, yeah, okay. Came into that turn with a little bit too much speed. That's what can happen. I could have taken that even safer, but I didn't want to. Awkward. We're fine. There we go. Too bad. We're coming up now to another stage that they nerfed. Not this one, but the next one. Cracks. Oh, wow, really? I must have hit the goalpost. Need to land directly into the tape. There we go. Luckily in this game, the party ball is a little bit better. In the original games, if you hit the party ball, you would go flying, but it kind of catches you in this game. The goalposts, on the other hand, are very mean. They do not have any mercy. I do not recommend doing what I just did there on tracks, unless you know you're really good at the video game. Taking the third wire there is pretty difficult. We're on 2. Wow, yet another difficult stage. Downhill hard. We have a theory that buffers in this game have a hitbox that is slightly larger than it was in SMB1, making stages like this just a little bit harder. And that's really going to matter soon on Invasion, which we'll get to in a few levels. But first we gotta play Gears. This is going to be some more tight wire movement. I'm aiming for the fastest possible cycle. I got it. Awesome. That is not easy. And that's why I like this category so much, because it really rewards you for having good movement. Super easy skip there on Destruction. That skip was also present in the original SMB1, so it's funny that it's in this game as well. Here's the stage I was talking about, Invasion. This is one of the more difficult stages in the game. Lots of casual players really did not have a fun time with this one. And first try. Awesome. That's very important. Very easy to get stuck there if you're not careful.
Ready, go.
And I think with that, we have a little bit of downtime for anything the host might want to say.
Ready, go.
Yeah, we do in fact have a few donations in. So, first of all, from Slosher Whalelord, our previous runner, they give $50 and say, time to roll fast. That is towards our new bidding war for the Legend of Zelda 4 Swords Anniversary Edition, the partner link color choice. They give to purple, the other options are blue and red. After Slosher, Char Bunny, a regular on the donation feed, gives $20 and says, Super Monkey Ball, :D. And finally Miko Hart, who donates $1 with the comment, nice. Back to you.
Alright, thank you all so much for donating. I'm happy to be here myself to help support this cause. I never knew the Only Kid personally. We did interact a little bit when they hosted for one of my runs. You know, once I heard of the news, I was like, you know, if anybody does a marathon or anything, I will absolutely lend my support. And that's exactly what happened. Also happy to just have this opportunity to show off Monkey Ball. Always happy to do that. We are now on Sega logo. This stage has some unpredictable collision, but that went extremely well. Okay. It takes a lot of experience on that stage to be ready for anything it can throw at you, but it did stuck to the route pretty well, and it didn't give me anything weird. Collision in this game is generally more consistent than in the original games. It can still be a little bit strange, but it doesn't happen as often. This is Is this the longest stage in the run? It's the second longest stage in the run, now that I think about it. We're gonna have a little bit over 30 seconds of movement here. In the original game, you would see me go for a pause strat here, because I do run the original Monkey Ball 1 as well. But pausing is a bit different in this game. It's not as easy to hit a very specific frame. Pause strats do still exist, but there are actually... we haven't found any useful ones in the SMB1 portion of this game yet. You won't see me use them here. If you were to watch a story mode run or an SMB2 marathon run, for example, you would see a couple. Oh, this is bad. Okay. I've really not been able to find a super consistent strat on this level. I have one in SMB1, and the best I can do is, like, sort of try to emulate that and end up usually getting, like, a half skip like that. Which is fine. Like, that's still pretty fast. Anything we can do, you know? Falling strats in this game, like this one, are a little bit more difficult because, as you can see, the camera doesn't pan all the way down. So you have to rely on feel a little bit, you have to rely on the minimap a little bit. It can be a little bit scary. We're going to do a specific setup on Twin Cross. Line up right about here, go forward, bounce, 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 goal. That worked perfectly. Does not always go that well. This strat's funny. We're just going to jump off it just past 58 flat, right into the goal. We are now on to conveyor parts. This is where the better collision in this game comes in. Sometimes you would not get collision where you need it on this stage, and you would just kind of fall off. In the original SMB1, that has killed many of my runs before, but in this game, smooth sailing. Here's another bonus stage. Once again, just want to fall out as quickly as we can. We're coming up to one of the last choke points for the run, if that makes any sense. One of the last big reset points in curvature. It's such a big reset point because the hard part of the stage isn't until 20 seconds in. So if you fall out here, chances are you're losing upwards of 20 seconds. And that is a very long time in this game. Especially IGT. Awesome, that was pretty good. I took it a little bit safe, but that's about as fast as I would go in a run setting. I have IL that stage. There's actually a skip on it that is very difficult, but... anyway. Besides this is another relatively tame portion of the run, which is... oh no, say that. I might... yeah, okay. Say that, but I fell off the drum. That's fine. But it's a welcome sight, not having a whole lot of difficult levels to deal with after the beginning of Expert, you know, where you have Gears and Exam C and Tracks, and Downhill Hard and Invasion. When you get past those stages, you breathe a sigh of relief. Because the rest of the run isn't nearly as difficult. Curvature can be. Not too much else. I'll go for a cycle skip here, why not? And I landed it, let's go. I don't normally go for that, but since it's a marathon, I want to show off a little bit. And I don't think I'm on world record pace anymore either. My practice run of this was less than 30 seconds off the world record, which was pretty funny considering I wasn't recording. So good thing it didn't get record. I'll wait a little bit for the cycle to line up here. Just get some nice bounces all the way into the goal. That cycle is different from SMB1. You may have also noticed, if you're familiar with the original Monkey Ball games, or even if you watch the rolled out run that happened right before this, shout out to Slosh, you may have noticed that people usually, when they start a level, they will go diagonally, sort of like that, like I just did right there. I'm now completely off cycle. I should not have done that. Anyway, moving diagonally is called boosting, and it works in the original games because those games pull inputs in a square, meaning diagonal inputs are farther away from center, and so they're stronger. That does not exist in this game. In this game, cardinal inputs are stronger. So if I'm trying to go fast, I just want to hold up.
Ready, go!
But thankfully, a lot of the same strats are still possible. This game's physics are actually a little bit faster. That makes up for things in some way. Here's a skip that's not possible in SMB1. Well, it kind of is, but in a different way. If you line up right there and throw yourself at that corner, you will get into the red goal almost every time. Very nice skip. The collision there can be a little bit unpredictable, but it's been nice to me lately. Knock on wood. You also saw I took a red goal there. Warp goals are finally back. We won't see too many more of them though. There's only one more red goal in this run, or one more warp goal in this run rather, and it's the green goal, so there are no more red goals. And it's right here. At the very end of this level there is a green goal. You can see the blue goal there in a particularly awkward position. So this will skip past one level. One of my least favorite levels in the game, so I'm not complaining about not having to play it. I'm gonna get to play Clover now. Most of these stages have some sort of ridiculous skip on them that is done in ILs, but it's not marathon safe.
Ready, go!
It's Coffee Cup. This one's pretty cool. Really nice how the cycles just line up like that. We are almost done with Base Expert. After this stage, all that's left is Expert Extra and Master. Now, Expert Extra normally has 10 levels in it, but in Marathon it only has 8. Because remember what I said earlier about some of the extras repeating? That's what happens. So the repeat extras do not show up again. Oh, this is a little bit weird. Nice. Okay. Gotta have pretty good movement there if you want to make that cycle. This strat's hilarious. Watch this. You can... Oh no! You can just barely sneak in there and make that cycle, and I was a tad late on the timing. That's better. Luckily, falling out on that barely costs any time. Because IGT, it only takes a couple seconds. Couple seconds you want to lose if you can help it, but it's not a big deal overall.
Ready, go!
But there's not a ton going on here. I'm trying to think if there's anything I need to make sure to talk about.
Ready,
Couldn't hurt to mention Magic Hand. That's another extra stage that's coming up pretty soon, actually. Which has some awkward collision. It's... oh, how do I describe this? I think it'll be better just to show you. You see those yellow circles and how they're very slightly raised? Those do have, like, their own individual collision box, if that makes any sense. And because they're circles, they sometimes act a bit funny, you know, they sometimes send you in a way you're not quite prepared for. So Magic Hand has definitely ended a lot of runs in this category. But luckily, we're fine. This is another stage that has ended quite a few of my runs. Just because the ending is a little bit tricky. Fly directly into the goal. That was really close. I almost hit... I almost didn't have enough height. I've gotten bounced up and more than likely fell out. And this is the final stage of Expert Extra. The high elf strat actually gets hit into the goal by the hammer, which is absolutely ridiculous. And there's a pause strat for it in SMB1, but not here. We're coming up now into SMB1 Master. And they nerfed a lot of stages here, because in the original SMB1, Master was incredibly difficult. It's not quite as hard in this game. A lot of the stages they nerfed do appear in original stage mode, which is just a compilation of 22 stages. 22 or 23? I think it's 22. 22 stages that they nerfed. They kept the original versions and just put them in original stage mode, which I really like. I think that's pretty neat. Like, original Exam C is there, for example. Master, we're gonna wait a little bit. That'll be nice. Stand here and just kind of turn around, land right here, and bounce into the goal. Stamina Master is one of the most difficult stages, at least in SMB1. Not as hard here, but it still can be pretty tricky. I can use this pole to slow myself down, line up right about here, hold forward. Ah, I almost went in.
Ready,
And you can see I'm holding the camera down the entire time to lock it in place. I do not want this camera moving on me. Not on this stage. Second try's not bad. And this is the longest stage in the run. There is an IL strat for it that I don't even know how to explain it. You like run into it while it's rolling and you can clip inside and get the goal. It's really funny. But in the meantime, we have time for another message from the host.
And indeed, I have one. We have a donation in from Ori Sky to the tune of $30. They say, big total. Can we reach 3,500? I think we can. We're only $1 off.
Oh, we absolutely can.
And that has gone towards our newly opened bidding war for Monolith Relics of the Past category choice. Database percent, prisoner percent. $30 are on database percent, putting it in the lead. Exciting times. Back to you.
Thank you very much. So here's Dance Master. The nerfed Dance Master moves much slower in this game than SMB1. You will see the same thing on Dodge Master, where they move. The stage moves way more slowly than it does in SMB1. The stage, in the meantime, is actually harder than in SMB1, because the cycle's a little bit different. Ooh, that was weird. Normally you wouldn't have to wait at the beginning there, like I did. Well, normally. In SMB1. And here is probably the hardest stage in the run for me. I don't know if it's actually the hardest stage in the run, but it's one there's not really a speed strat for. You just kind of have to play it. You know, there is an IL strat, and I've tried to incorporate it into the run. Not had any luck yet. But that is okay, because I just did this first try, and that's huge. But there's only a few stages left, so get ready on time. 3 to be exact. Slow down right here to dodge that. Go in there. Okay. Here's Bridge Master. Luckily we can use camera lock. Oh. We can use camera lock to help us out here. I'm not getting this because I got really nervous because this was like maybe going to world record. It's not going to now, which is fine. It probably wasn't even going to begin with. I shouldn't have looked at the timer though because I saw how close it was. And I froze up. We're still getting a sub 13 though. Time. Very, very good run. That was really good, actually. I'm not going to upload it to the internet because it's not going to work, but yeah, thank you. That is not it for me though, because we still have Dark Banana Mode.
Indeed, the donation incentive was met for Dark Banana Mode. Now, can you tell us a little bit about what that means?
Absolutely. So it's one of the special modes in this game, which are pretty much the only thing in this game that doesn't appear in a previous Monkey Ball game. These first 4 special modes. Deluxe Mode is a level from Super Monkey Ball Deluxe. But you have Reverse Mode, Dark Banana Mode, Golden Banana, and Original Stage Mode. Dark Banana in particular makes for a fantastic donation incentive, because it's probably the hardest. You can see a little picture there of that weird, like, dark purple and red banana. So there will be a bunch of these littered throughout all the stages that I play in Dark Banana Mode, all 10 of them. And if I touch one of these bananas, it's game over, and I have to restart the level. So I think, are we going to run a separate timer for this? Maybe I should have asked that before. It doesn't particularly matter, because we timed this with loadless anyway. Whether we're running a timer or not, I'm going to give a countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. So we're starting with cross floors. I have to play all of these in a row. And the first 3 or so are not particularly difficult, really, at all. Cross floors, you play it kind of the same way you play cross floors normally. This stage you didn't see in my run because it's a Monkey Ball 2 level. There's going to be a few of those. And now we get to play Antlion. Which I don't think you saw the stage either because I think a Warp Goal skipped it. It is an SMB1 stage. There are no warp goals in Dark Banana mode. You have to play all 10 of these levels. The real reason why Dark Banana mode is so interesting is because some of these levels are the most difficult in the game, and I'm going to point specifically to Dark Twin Basin, which is stage 8 of 10 here. I'm gonna start hyping that up right now. This is another pretty difficult one. We do a skip here. We line up right about here, and then try to bounce off that. Yes! Awesome! First try is huge for that. I can get stuck there a lot. It's one of the hardest things for me in this category. The skip there and disruption is nice. It's a whole lot of the level, as you can see. And now, the Dark Bananas on Narrow Peaks are trying to force us to go the more difficult path. Oh wow, I actually hit a banana. Okay then. You can see what happens when I hit one. Anyway, it's trying to force us to the right. But we're not gonna do that. Easier, in my opinion, and probably slightly faster. Just sort of skip past him like I did there. I will go for this strat maybe twice. This is basically the IL. Oh, yeah. I had to turn back in sooner. Oh, that was so close. Okay, one more, because I'm actually really close to nailing this. My estimate is a bit generous on this, so I'm not too concerned. Oh, that was so close, I hit the goalpost. Alright, well. I don't want to be here forever, so we're going to call it there and actually play this normally. And you can see those lines of bananas. You have to play this basically the same way you would play Centric normally. But you just have to stay even closer to the middle so you don't hit any of those bananas. Taking this very slow, very safe. Just for a real run, I probably would have taken it much faster.
Ready?
And Breathe returns now, with Dark Bananas on some of the squares. But not too big of a deal, we can pretty easily avoid them. Get yourself a nice 22. And here is Dark Twin Basin, one of the most difficult stages in the entire game. Not really possible to skip past this, like, I mean it is, but it's not consistent, it's the IL. Oh, I almost first tried it, that was so close. You have to, especially in the second basin, perfectly weave your way around the bananas and perfectly conserve your speed, but you don't go too far on the ending platform like I did. That was awesome. There we go. Second try Twin Basin is huge. I have gotten very good at this level. I've gotten very good at this whole category, actually. To my knowledge, I am the only person to ever complete this mode deathless. I've done it twice. I do not have the world record, however. That would go to Petrazink, who has just done faster strats with one death. Anyway, we are almost done here. One more level left to go. I did skip some cycles there in Swing Bar. And it's Sega logo. And this looks pretty intimidating at first, but it's honestly not too bad once you know where to go. Here. Careful to avoid these. And then you can just dip over here like this, and time. We ran a timer. I don't know if we did, but it doesn't really matter. And that is Dark Banana mode. Cool.
GG.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, as you can see, this game has a lot more content just in general, and as I do my last shoutouts here, I'm actually going to go put on a replay. If you want to run this game, I implore you to go to speedrun.com/SMB1 and check out the Discord link. We do have a speedrunning Discord for this game. It's pretty active, lots of helpful channels in it, and I would be happy to teach you everything I know to help you get into running this game. If that's something you want to do. Lots of categories: SMB1 marathon, SMB2 marathon, story mode, special modes, there's jumps, as I mentioned earlier. Let's play this replay. In the meantime, if you enjoyed the run, you can follow me on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and even TikTok at Helix13 underscore. Do not forget the underscore. That's important. I am pushing for a partner on Twitch, so it would mean a lot to me if you go drop a follow. Got committed to a Speedfest. Always got to shout them out. But I think, despite that, that's about all from me. Thank you so much for having me. I am happy to have this opportunity, happy to help support. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Hope you all stick around.
As it happens, your final time for Dark Banana Mode was 4 minutes and 37 seconds.
That's really good.
We have one final donation from Silver Moonlight to the tune of $1 with the comment, yes, we can hit 3,500. With that, let's head to the break and see what's coming next.